Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday. It's Jeremy Webb. It's Off the Leash, Neptune's 4-day-a-week live stream where we chat with people in the arts and entertainment industry, most of them affiliated in some way at some point with Neptune Theatre. I hope you're well. I hope you're doing well. First to say that all of us at Neptune Theatre have our hearts broken and damaged this week as we remember all of the victims in the mass shooting that took place in Nova Scotia this week. Our hearts and thoughts are with the families, the friends, and the colleagues of all of those people. We decided to continue with this show because we need something to take our mind off it for just a few minutes, maybe. And I thought I would bring in some colleagues of mine that have been involved with Neptune Theatre over the last few years as part of the Chrysalis project. The Chrysalis project is Neptune Theatre's mentorship training program. These people didn't really need training, but it was a great way of getting them some on-the-job experience at Neptune Theatre with the team that we have at our place of work. So without further ado, I am going to bring them in. If my buttons all work, let us bring them in. Here we go. We have Cynthia Vokey,
Hi.
Koumbie, Michelle Langille, Alison Crosby, and last but not least, but it takes a second to find him, Andrew Chandler.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, all of you.
Hello. Hi.
How are you all?
Good.
It's good to see your faces. It's good to see your faces. It's good to see Alison's face getting really close to the camera just to check it out. It's great to see you all. I just want to check in that you're all doing okay. Can you just let me know where you are and how you're doing? Cynthia, you go first.
Sure. I'm doing really well. I am in Cape Breton here in Sydney, and I'm at home, working from home. I'm with my husband, so we're happy and healthy and safe. So really can't ask for anything more right now.
Awesome. And also just let me know, let everyone know, in fact, what it was you did as part of the Chrysalis, the RBC Chrysalis project.
So I was fortunate enough to work in the choreographer stream. So I had an opportunity to work this season on Peter Pan, which is really exciting. So, and some of my colleagues are here with us this evening. Alison was working on that show, and so was Michelle.
Cool. Koumbie, how are you doing?
I mean, I don't even know how to answer that question. It's like this week has been bullshit and we're all finding new ways to grieve. But personally, I mean, we're finding a routine and we're getting through it.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And you were with the Chrysalis project last year? It seems to go so quickly.
But yes.
Yeah.
Feels like it was a lot longer ago than that, but yes, it was last year.
What shows did you work on?
I was honored to work on The Color Purple and on Missing Me.
Awesome. Awesome. Michelle Langille.
Hello.
Where are you?
Where am I? I'm in Halifax in my apartment. I'm doing okay. I'm, I think kind of constantly just trying to find how I feel about things. There was a lot of craziness that happened yesterday, very close to where the majority of my family lives. So I'm very fortunate that everyone is safe that I know. But it's, it's really scary. And yeah, so I don't know, negotiating that. And it's very weird being solo during this pandemic. I'll tell you that. But yeah, so I was part of the directing stream this season. I got to work on The Last Wife, which I actually was working with Koumbie and the amazing Natasha McClellan. And then I was on Peter Pan with You Fools.
By You Fools, you mean?
And Alison was on that too.
Yeah. And just to be clear, Koumbie was actually in the cast of that show. Mm-hmm. She wasn't part of the Chrysalis project. So, Koumbie, Neptune has been like your second home for the last year, pretty much.
Yes. One that I very much hope to go back to someday.
Well, I hope that we can all go back there and have you back as well. Alison Crosby, speaking about second homes, you spend so much time at Neptune Theatre. How are you and where are you?
I
I'm also in Halifax. I'm in my apartment with my partner, and we're hanging out over here. We're both okay. There's days that are okay and days that are super weird, and I mean, all days are super weird.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
pretty much.
I was in the lighting design stream for Chrysalis.
Okay.
I worked with Leanne Barty on both of my shows. And that's actually a good thing to mention is that I'm not a Chrysalis stage manager because I get that all the time.
No, you are a full-on stage management team member.
But I guess I get asked that all the time. People are like, how did you manage to get a second year of Chrysalis? Like, why are you cheating the system? And I'm like, no.
You were there as a stage manager before you did Chrysalis, right?
Yeah, started ASMing.
You've been at Neptune longer than I have, and I'm really, really old. Speaking of really old, hi, Andrew Chandler.
Oh! Hey, Jeremy. That's one of the nicest intros you've ever given me. Thank you.
It's pretty much the only one I'll ever give you.
Sure.
How are you, my friend?
I'm okay. Like everybody, feeling a lot and sort of taking it hour by hour and being very careful about what I can take in and what I need to sort of keep the walls up for right now.
Right.
But I'm here by myself at my apartment in Dartmouth, representing and doing okay at it. I was a director in the Chrysalis project last year, and I worked on Cinderella with you, Jeremy, and also worked with Annie Valentina on Low or Dear Mr. Wells. Right.
I remember you being there with me. I do remember. That we've got photographic evidence coming up a little bit later. So, well, thank you for that little check-in. I like to check in with people, and also it's just great to hear that you're there. So I tell you what, Alison, why don't you tell me, give me the elevator pitch of what Chrysalis is all about? I know, and she rolled her eyes. You just rolled your eyes at me.
Just because I don't go first. Yeah, I guess Chrysalis was really big for me. Leanne and I talked about this a lot. I had an interesting situation where my mentor was the same for both shows, which worked really well for me. I did Low or Dear Mr. Wells in the studio, and then we did Color Purple on main stage. And my big thing about lighting design was that it had been something I had been doing for a couple of years, but I had not experienced it really on the caliber of Neptune Theatre. I had never gone through the lighting design process. I was really kind of making it up as I went along, which I love doing. Like, I love learning by trial and error, and that was all great. But I mean, to sit down with the best of the best, Leanne, for 2 shows and see all that was game changing. And I know how to use Vectorworks now, so that's sick.
That's amazing. Now, I've noticed that Michelle Langille is currently in desperate need of a lighting designer. She's currently trying to relight her living room.
My lamp fell over.
Your lamp fell. Oh.
It's a crappy lamp that I got from my younger sister, and now I know why she didn't keep it. Crap.
I could see it happening while we were focusing on Alison, and I thought, should I wait a little longer? No, Alison is ending her story, and I should go back, but Michelle's running around with a lamp right now.
Anyways, I don't want to talk about it.
Is this your first live stream, Michelle?
Shut up.
So, Cynthia, for someone that is actually, you've been a choreographer for a while. You've worked at the Hat in Cape Breton, at the Savoy. Why would you, at that point in your career, think about coming and doing something like Chrysalis? What was it offering to you that called out to you?
Sure. So I think at any point in our career, there's always room to learn and to educate yourself. So, I mean, I knew that, there was lots I needed to learn, and there's still lots that I'm going to learn as I move forward as a choreographer. But So what Chrysalis meant to me was that I would have the opportunity to observe and to work with another choreographer and see what their approach was working on a show. Because obviously I have my own technique on how I approach choreographing different production numbers and in a large show in general. But I wanted to see, okay, how do other people do it? And how can I take, how they approach choreography and then apply it to my craft and, take it back and basically work that into my way that I work as a choreographer. So that was super, super helpful. I worked with the lovely Stephanie Graham, which is was so amazing. And just to be able to observe and to see how she approached choreographing Peter Pan was definitely a huge learning experience for me.
Great. Stephanie is fantastic.
She's
I've been blessed with a whole bunch of really good choreographers in the time that I've been at Neptune. And in fact, I don't know whether we've announced it yet, but next week is Dance Week. It's International Dance Day next Thursday. And I'm gathering together 5 choreographers, local and from further afield, who are going to come and talk about dance in the theater world on Thursday next week. And Stephanie's one of them. So hope people tune in. I should also mention that Off the Leash, this little live stream, is made possible by the support of Support for Culture, who are an organization that do some amazing work supporting cultural organizations in our community. So thanks to them. Koumbie, tell us a little bit about your experience working on what can only be described as a phenomenon, and that's the color purple. You got to work alongside Kimberly Rampersad, who is just an amazing human being and an amazing artist, and the rest of the team and the cast, just stunning artists and people. What was it like for you, and what did it mean to you to be in that room for those 4 or 5 weeks?
I think a lot of people who were part of that production have said the same thing, but it's not overstating it to say that it was life-changing. I've often told the story. On the first day, Kimberly went around and she gave this incredible speech. And one of the things she said was that she was going to be expecting excellence of every single person in that room, and we were going to expect excellence of ourselves. And the first couple, I went home and was like, no, I don't expect excellence. I expect to try and just get through the day. I'm not striving for that bar. I'm just trying to make it through. And by the end of the week, I was like, yeah, I totally drink the Kool-Aid. I am striving for excellence. And it shifted my everything. It was wonderful.
Yeah, it is. It was an amazing thing to watch from a little further afield from my position. And to see you all. Here's a photo of I think that's all the production team. Is that all the production team?
It's the creative team.
It's the creative team. Is that Jacob Sampson in there as well? What was he?
Yes, he was the fight captain.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Yeah, I forgot he did that. And there's Karen Bassett's in there as well. So, yeah, what an amazing group this is. Well, and I actually don't have a photo with me here of the entire company, but that's quite a spectacular group of people. I'm so happy you got to experience that, and I'm thrilled, in fact. So, Andrew, you were the very first chrysalis. That means you were the first butterfly to fly away. Oh, wait, we've got some messages coming in. I'm just gonna throw some of these. Oh, here's one.
Aww.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Sarah. Oh, hi, Ethan. Yes.
June Pink, another former chrysolite. A chrysolite, is that actually is that the appropriate word?
I think so.
It is now.
We'll answer to pretty much anything.
Yeah, we do.
Especially relevant for me.
So Ethan was asking how do you get into the program, but Sarah Richardson answered on our behalf.
Yes, Sarah.
Yeah, basically we accept applications through the Neptune Theatre website. I think because of the COVID-19 pandemic, we've pushed the deadline a little, and you can still apply for next season should you wish to join this illustrious group. It's worth noting, actually, at this point, that over the 2 years that it's been running, there have been 2 intakes of Chrysalis. Here is the first intake. And let me just remove that question, actually, sorry. And then we can see everybody's faces equally. 1 second. There we go. Now we can see everyone. And then we had our second year. Is this our second year or the first year?
That's first year.
This is first year.
Is that the same group?
That's the
Oh no! Well,
Jeremy, your tech is so good.
What can I say? There are a lot of buttons to press, and the photos all look the same. So the other group were much better looking, and don't need a photo. I do want to mention as well, actually, if I bring up this picture, ignore the guy on the side, but. What we've also noticed when we do these live streams is that when we bring a picture up that's shaped like that, some of us can actually lean out, and somebody needs to screen capture that. Okay, somebody did, I'm sure. That's Annie Valentina. Now, Michelle, why don't you tell me a little about what Annie does for the Chrysalis project? Do you know?
Yeah, well, Annie sort of... Thanks. Annie is the artistic accomplice at Neptune, the associate artistic director, I guess. That's right. She is sort of in charge of the selection and helping us sort of curate the experience that we want to have. So, when I was accepted, we talked a lot about she sort of offered shows that she thought I might be interested in, and I sort of commented on the kind of work that I was that I was passionate about, and so we were able to sort of make sure that happened, have meetings with our mentors. Yeah, there's Natasha, my first mentor, and Jodie Richardson, who was amazing, an actor in The Last Wife. And so we were able to sort of talk about what I wanted to get out of the experience and what my mentor was able to offer. Oh, look at all those fools there. Yeah, so that's sort of, and Annie kind of checks in with us to make sure that things are going the way that we want them to, or if there's anything we can do better. She was really helpful for me too, to like help juggle sort of other projects that were happening or outside commitments to make sure that I could sort of make everything happen.
Right.
So she's a really great support.
I was going to say, Annie, hold your hand when you barge into her office and say, you can't do this.
Yeah.
Yes.
She does that for me too. As my artistic associate, she does that for me too. On a daily basis. It's usually a case of, Annie, can I do this? No, Jeremy. No, you can't. And Annie, what should this, Jeremy, do this. So she sorts me out. Andrew, what is your earliest and what's your first memory of Neptune Theatre? Do you have an early memory? Like, and what was it? And can you remember?
I say it hasn't been that long ago because I don't think I came to Neptune as a child. I think I was one of the few. But about 10 or 11 years ago, when I first came back to Halifax, I got a job in the box office and remember sneaking in towards the end of High School Musical and seeing the final number there. I seem to remember Geordie Brown busting out of one of the wings that no longer exists. It's quite a vivid memory. That I think is my first actual memory of a Neptune stage.
Awesome. Anybody else have an early memory of Neptune?
I have a question.
Yeah, of course.
Was there a Beauty Beast? There was a recent one, but was there one before that? Yeah,
there were a couple. There's been a few.
Oh my God, what the hell is that?
It's my little. Well, doesn't everybody have a little replica of a role they've played twice? And in fact, it's the only role you ever get recognized for? No? Okay.
Just you.
Yeah, there were two Beauty and the Beast, to answer your question, Koumbie. One in 2000 and I'm going to say 8. It might have been 7.
2008.
Yeah.
2008.
And you were in that one, Michelle, right?
Yeah, I was.
What were you, like 10? Jeez.
Thank you.
Oh my God, that was a compliment. And then there was one in 2015. I don't remember. Anyway, just a few years ago. So every 9 years. So if I'm still AD at Neptune, you can pretty much count on the fact that in 9 years from the last one, there'll be another one. Okay. And I'll roll myself out. I was actually the only actor that was in both. I was the only one crazy enough to come back for another slice of that pie. And I did. So, 2016, June's Inc. is correcting me and telling me it was 2016. Here's something that I think Andrew Chandler would like to know.
Oh.
Celia Keown. Of course, one of our cast members of multiple shows at Neptune, including the lead role in Low. And here's a question from Michelle.
Yes. From a box.
Kevin, are you dressed like that Netflix show? Can you see his picture? He is.
Got
okay.
it.
Awesome. All right. And here's something from Reese. That's great.
That's why we're doing this over video.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey.
All right. Koumbie, tell me about the year or so, the couple of years leading up to you coming to Neptune. I know the answer to this. It's kind of a leading question. But you in theater directing. Your journey to Neptune.
That journey. Well, I have you to thank and curse for that journey.
That's not what I was asking you to say, just for the record. I wanted to know the journey, not anything else.
As has happened a number of times, Corey Bowles got too busy to do something, and I got to step in and attempt to take his place. No, there was a beautiful show by Karen Bassett, who wrote Lullaby, a show about the Halifax explosion, and Jeremy was producing with Eastern Front, and he lost his director, and very aptly thought, I'm probably not the one to direct this, and from what I understand, was desperately looking for someone who could direct, and somehow my name got thrown in the mix, even though I had never directed a theater production ever before. But I guess I had enough film directing experience that Jeremy was like, you can do it. And I was like, no, I can't.
Yeah, I actually watched a bunch of your work so to see what your aesthetic was and whether you know how you were with actors, and then I just suggested it, and it was somebody else that put the bug in my ear actually, and I won't mention them here for fear of embarrassing them or you, but and it made me think, yeah, wait a second. And you did a great job, and that show went on the road for, was it 6 or 8 weeks around the province?
It was a long time.
Yeah, and then it landed, Lullaby landed at the Maritime Museum of the Atlantic for a 3-week run during the Halifax explosion centennial. So it was a big show for Eastern Front, and you did a great job.
Yeah, it was a huge show to take on for my first, and I was incredibly blessed to get the team that I got, because they really helped me. But yeah. I know that the Chrysalis was made for me, because Jeremy said he was going to mentor me during the process, and then he went to Cape Breton to direct something. This was his payback.
Yeah, pretty much. Alison, you've spent a lot of time at Neptune. And you're now wearing many hats, because aren't you also writing something? Tell us about that.
Yeah. Yeah, to be clear, this is also not a part of Chrysalis, but I'm writing a script for Neptune's incubator program, which is similar to Chrysalis, I guess, in a way, because it kind of gives support to emerging artists, but it is for playwriting. And I'm working with Annie Valentina again, which is the best, and I'm writing a script called In Lieu of Flowers, and is one of the only things that I'm still able to do from my apartment, which I'm very grateful for.
Awesome. When's the so you had a reading
with Koumbie?
With Koumbie, yeah, there. No, oh, it's so difficult to work out which direction. Was there. And that was before the lockdown, obviously.
Yeah, it was in February.
Yeah. So now you're going away and to write another draft?
Yeah, I have written another draft since
then.
Great.
Awesome.
Yeah. So now I'm on number 3, I guess.
Oh my goodness. Do you have a deadline?
The second draft was due by the end of March. And then I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but something is happening in May that will be draft number 3.
Cool. I just want to bring up a picture here. We have a lot of fun at Neptune Theatre. We try and fill the place with a bit of laughter whenever we can. Opening nights are always entertaining. And it's usually when the artistic director gets the real feelings from the people that he works with, in my case. There's Cinderella where everybody was clearly giving me the stink eye behind. Avery Jean's got that down. Look at that. June Zink as well. And, they're not the only ones. Other people also.
I knew that was going to come up.
Cynthia. I'm like, what am I doing to deserve this? But they did actually, as soon as Stephanie Graham walks on the scene, who is the great calming, equalizing, gracious influence, suddenly everyone plays nice.
So true.
Nice.
That's
and I just want to say that, of all my chrysalites, my very first one has always shown me the most support.
I love that you're on a chair.
When I'm standing on chairs making speeches.
I was literally holding him up at that point.
I was incredibly drunk, and the party had just started. See the production manager, Michael Owen, behind there staring at me going, what the honk is going on here? And Chrysalis people love to pose for photos. They really do. They have a hankering to pose whenever they get the chance. And look at that.
I have that on my fridge.
Do you really? I only have it on my computer. Was that at the? I don't even know where that was.
It was the Merit pre-show last year.
Was it the Merit pre-show? Yeah. We've covered up Alison and Cynthia with that photo.
I know.
Okay, let's bring them back.
That's okay though.
Now, obviously, in Sydney, where Cynthia is, they're experiencing a power outage because she's just getting dimmer and dimmer as the
No, I do have a.
Could you throw another quarter in the meter? Just get a candle. Like, we have electricity up there now.
Is that better?
It's a beautiful bit of silhouette. It's backlighting. It's great. What has been so far in your time at Neptune your scariest or craziest moment? Has anyone got a scary, crazy moment? Alison Crosby, do you have one? No, what? No? With the gestures?
I'm just having a moment at scariest and thinking of 20 feet. Yeah.
Tell that story. What did we do to you?
Am I allowed?
Yes, we're allowed now because it's over.
Oh, great. I've still not been telling anybody. I, as an assistant stage manager in Peter Pan, a while ago, Jeremy came up to me in the hallway at some point and was like, hey, Alison, how are you with heights? And I'm terrified of heights. So I said, great, love heights. And he then proceeded to write me into Peter Pan as a flying muggle. And then crashing into the wings and very nearly actually crashing a couple times.
Yeah, so we actually pretended to pull up a member of the audience, and for every single performance, it was you dressed in, as you call it, muggle clothing, as I called it in the script, muggle clothing, but just dressed in regular clothing. You changed or put a coat on, and
I had my blacks on underneath.
Yeah, and then you came up on stage and acted like you were a human being. Instead of a part of the team, and then we tied you up, threw you in the air, threw you around the stage, threw you into the wings with lots of sound effects and crashing, and pretended that we'd killed a member of the audience.
Yeah, it was the best. It was the best thing ever. But if you're talking about scariest moments at Neptune, the time I almost flew into a speaker is up there.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, it was actually well rehearsed and safe.
Yeah, it was like
Little
technically
moments.
well fine.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for doing that, by the way.
I got to fly every day for like a month and a half. Are you kidding? Thank you.
It's okay. Wait till you see what I've written you in Alice in Pantoland.
Are you kidding? What?
How are you with spiders?
Great, love them.
Okay. How are you with snakes?
Great, love them.
Dog?
Great, love them.
Dog.
Now, Andrew, tell us about your experience with a dog on the Neptune stage.
So I was an actor in Shakespeare in Love, and we got the script, and it was described that one of the actors, who hadn't yet been decided who this was going to be, was going to work with a live dog on stage. The dog had been cast, and the dog was great. And I'd always heard the adage, like, don't work with animals and children. But I was like, oh, well, like, what could possibly go wrong? So I volunteered to work with the dog because I love dogs, and dogs love me. What could possibly go wrong? And the dog was amazingly well trained, and I was not. And the dog let me know very quickly, and like would be perfect in the wings, and was so ready. And as soon as we got on stage, a star was born. The dog took off and did whatever she needed to get the treats, and only that. So like we had a whole routine worked out, and she would do the first trick and jump right to the last trick, because that's when she got the treat. And I stood there with egg on my face.
You did. We had a... Go ahead.
I was going to say, the night I saw it, dog was perfect. It was great. Loved it.
The dog was perfect. I felt like an idiot.
Some of the Shakespeare in Love cast were on at a show, one of these shows a week or so ago, and they were telling tales about that dog and how you were just a trooper. And I must admit, I was like, I'm sorry I did this to you, Andrew. I'm so sorry. But the dog was gorgeous and very good. But we've had a lighting suggestion. Somebody suggested leaning forward, Cynthia. No, that doesn't help. Okay. It did make you look really weird, though. So here's a great actual question. We'll make this our last question of the day because we are actually out of time. I'll wrap it up soon after this. Can we just go around the room, and what is the show that you all most want to direct or work on the Neptune main stage? What would you like to work on if you could choose any show and the artistic director was a friend of yours and you could persuade him to do it? What would it be? Any thoughts? If you don't have one, that's fine. But
I want to direct. Cabaret.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just gonna write all these down actually, because then it means I'm gonna have to do my job over the next couple of years. All right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Great idea. My idea. Yes. Good. Anyone else?
Since you're asking,
I don't know a stage show, but Jessica, Barry, and I have been discussing a possible remount of Fat Pig.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Yes. Who was in that show with her?
It was before my time.
Wasn't he?
Stacey Smith, Matt Lumley,
Mike McPhee.
Yeah.
Mike McPhee. Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, did we identify the whole cast? Well done. Anyone else? A good idea, though. Thank you, Koumbie. I'm going to write that down as well, actually, because I did like that show. I'm actually really writing it down. Okay.
You better be writing down Cabaret, too.
I wrote it. Cynthia, what show have you always wanted to work on as a choreographer?
Oh, I mean, West Side Story. Obviously.
Oh, yeah.
So, but I know Neptune did that.
Did that just a few years ago, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Not likely.
No, I know.
But good idea, though. Alison?
I feel like one of the first shows I worked with lighting, technically, I'm going to do a lighting one because on brand.
Sure.
I was really jealous of the lighting designer for Spring Awakening in university.
Mm-hmm.
I think that'd be a really cool show to light.
Yeah. I actually love Spring Awakening. So there we go.
Spring.
There we go. Andrew?
I really want to direct the 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee.
Oh,
Hey, we're right here.
So great.
There's a lamp, but that's a poster for it.
Awesome. Message here from Alison Palmer.
Oh,
hi, Alison.
Alison.
And she's right. You know, I'm so proud of Chrysalis. I think of all the things that we've done in my time as AD of Neptune Theatre, Chrysalis was the thing I said I was going to do before I started, and we were determined to make it happen, the team and I, and we did, and it brought all you people even more into our lives, and all those other people as well, which is, I'm just seeing a message come through. Yeah, we got a stacked 23-24 season.
Yeah, we do.
23-24. I haven't even planned 21-22 yet. Yeah.
Funnily enough, Kat has just messaged me about auditioning, so I think it's gonna happen.
It's okay. She's actually just messaged me as well. And Kat is actually going to be a guest on the show.
Yeah.
Amongst many things that she does in our community, she's one of our front of house managers. Okay, look, I just want to thank you. If you could sum up Chrysalis in one word, one single word, what does Chrysalis mean to you? Go around the room. Start with Andrew below me.
Empowering.
Alison?
Game changing, which is hyphenated, so it counts.
Yeah. Michelle?
Door opening.
Nice. Koumbie?
Steps.
Nice. Cynthia?
Uplifting.
Awesome. The Chrysalis project is something that I would like to see happening for all time at Neptune Theatre. The first year we had 10 participants. This current season that we're just closing out now has 11 participants in it. Long may it continue. We need funds to make that project happen. It's an independent project within the theater, and we raise money for it all year round. So if supporting these artists is something that means something to you, feel free to get in touch with us at Neptune Theatre. During these difficult times, of course, many organizations, so many organizations and charities are needing help. Neptune is no different. If at some point in the future you are able to assist Neptune Theatre to rebuild itself after this situation, then please consider donating, buying a subscription, buying a ticket to make sure that all the artists that we use in our shows are seen. Thanks very much for being here, you five. It's been great to see you and great to chat with you. Thank you for not teasing me too mercilessly, like you threatened to do before we went on air.
We got most of that out in the private chat.
I know, and I'm going to go and read it now. Take care, everyone. Thanks for watching, and we have more shows for you, of course, all week coming up. Let me see if I can find it. Yes, tomorrow night is our front of house special. Where Julia Williams, Spencer Krillman, and Kat McCormick are going to hopefully be spilling the beans on what goes on front of house, what goes on behind the scenes of front of house. I'm very excited by Thursday's show. Oh, look, I've got a banner right over somebody's head there. Let me just lose that. We have members of the Come From Away team. Michael Rubinoff, who is one of the originating producers, Astrid Van Wieren, who is from the Broadway cast, and our friend George Maswell, who plays the mayor of Gander, amongst others, in Toronto, and they're going to be with us to talk all things Come From Away. And I just got word about half an hour before we went to air tonight that I may have an incredibly special guest, surprise guest joining us for that show. I can't tell you who it is because I want to get them signed on the line first, but I think they're committed. They said they want to come. And on Friday night, we have a musical theater nerd night. If you're a musical theater geek, then join this group of people as they discuss favorite shows, worst shows, shows that should never be done, shows that should always be done. Laura Thornton, Chris Vergara, Amanda Mullally, and Becca Gilderson will be joining me to argue it all out on Friday. Thanks for being here. Take care, and we'll see you tomorrow. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.